What we're going to discuss tonight is caregivers, as you can see here on the screen, and we're going to touch a little bit on assisted living, independent living. I got a couple emails since the last couple presentations, the last couple live presentations. Okay, that's my phone. It's delayed. Sorry about that. That's my phone. I was just checking, make sure everybody can hear me. If you can hear me and you hear, let me know just by commenting below or something like that. Let me know that you can hear me. Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me? I want to get started, but I'm not going to talk unless I know some y'all, confirm that y'all can hear me at least. And we can get started. I'm going to cover, oh yeah, okay. Okay, Brittany. Okay, Katrina. Okay, Kareem. Kai. I hate when I can't pronounce y'all name. Kyra, meaning, so that probably mean that first A silent. But yeah, we can hear you. I mean, I'm good. We good. We can get to it now. So the topic I want to discuss today was caregivers, the front line of senior care, and the importance of finding great caregivers, building a team, in an environment that everyone is helpful, working together, and putting the families first, and you guys are excited about actually being there. The caregivers are actually excited about being there. Creating that environment. It's not always easy to create that environment, but and it takes time to find caregivers who can contribute and be on a team, work together when somebody can't make it, or somebody's running a little late, who you want to make sure you got other people who can you can rely on. And when people don't feel like they're part of the team, and they don't really understand the culture and what you're trying to do with your company, it's you can run into a lot of trouble if all your caregivers feel like they're just like, they're just employees, they just working a job and they're kind of like doing their own thing. You want to do your best to build like a family team type community, a team environment, so everybody's like, understanding, like, to take good care of these people, we have to work together to provide the best service. We have to work together to get more clients, more opportunities, more hours for everybody. If that's what we need, we have to provide great care. That's the only time you're going, that's the only time you can expect referrals, is when caregivers go to work and do great, jobs, go above and beyond, and the families, they love them. The caregiver's job is to make the family love them, take good care of the family, the patient, but then also just going in there with a great attitude and uplifting the whole environment, even if there might be other things that's going on and it's always drama, or the families that's dealing with the medical issues at a patient or the resident. And that can be hard for the family to get through the day and deal with it, because for one thing, you got to remember that's their parent or their loved one. For us, it's just another client. So they're more emotionally attached. They're going to respond differently. So it's our job, and it's your job as an employer of caregivers to send them in there with great attitudes. Make sure they're going in there with great attitudes, and trying to always raise the happiness level in the house. For lack of a better term, you always want to go in there and try to do the best you can to make sure everyone in the house is happier than what they were when you got there. Obviously, the work, doing what you need to do as far as the care is concerned, whatever they need, whatever their care plan is, dictates. Those things have to get done in a great way. But attitude really dictates the environment. So if you're caregiver, and you have to be able to, and the caregiver also has to be able to read the patient, the family, and the environment. Some patients, some clients, all they want to do is talk. When you get in there, they just want to talk from ding to dong. A million questions. And if you're dealing with Alzheimer's and dementia patients, you're going to be hear the same question over and over and over again. You have to be okay with that. You have to understand, your caregivers have to understand that this is part of the process, and this is why the training is important, getting them the proper training and things like that. If they don't have like a deep experience with Alzheimer's and stuff like that, but understanding like these different situations and not disrupting their norm. So, for instance, say you go in there, you got a caregiver, you got a family who the patient, he loves to talk, she loves to talk. He's watching the news, he's watching the show, he wants to interact. And he might be asking you the same question over and over again, or saying the same thing over and over again. And that could be frustrating for a normal person. Like I see the family members, we see the family members, they get frustrated. They don't understand dementia. They don't understand Alzheimer's. So they don't really know how to, manage that situation with their loved one. But it's your job to go in there and answer those questions, be engaging, be, have eye-to-eye contact, show them that you're interested in what they're saying, helping them through the process of, gaining whatever memory they can by, just engaging them and constantly talking to them and helping them get an understanding of, okay. And you'll see it happening as you do it. But what you don't want to do is send a caregiver into an environment that doesn't match that personality if they can't get there. So you got a talkative patient and a introvert type caregiver. That's not probably going to be the great situation, the greatest match. So if she doesn't work, you got to replace her, right? Or you got to train her to teach her and help her, learn how to function in those environments. But sometimes people's personality aren't that. So it would be too much of a stretch for them to go into that house and be all engaging and things like that if that's not who they are. And you can't make people be different than who they are. So what we try to do as an agency, and what we try to make sure we always do, is matching and pairing the right caregiver with the right client, or put them in the right home, or in the right situation that matches their personality. These are some of the things I just wanted to discuss and talk about today. So, as you can see here on the slide, caregivers, the front line of senior care. Your caregivers will determine your success or failure. So if you got a great team of caregivers, y'all working together, y'all in sync, everybody's, excited about what they do. They love what they do. The pay is, where they can, they're happy and everything is great. There's no limit to the amount of clients you can bring into that situation, service, and continue to get referrals. So this is what you got to understand, and this is what you got to remember as the business owner. Of course, we want to do, make sure that the families are happy, and they got great caregivers that match their family's environment, the patient's personality, and things like that. But one of the main reasons when you start thinking about it from a business perspective is I want to make sure these people have the best possible experience, so they will tell their friends. Because the bottom line is you need referrals to grow. And there's no better client referral than from a current client sending you somebody that they care, that's a friend or a family member, to, you know, give you the opportunity to service them as well. So that's the piece that you need to constantly remember and focus on, that whoever I send to these people's home, they have to make sure that we're doing such a great job every time we go there that they have no choice but to talk about how their loved one is responding, or how they see you, if the loved one probably can't respond or whatever, and tell you how good you're doing. The family overall can just see that you're not just going, okay, this is the care plan, this is what needs to be done today, and that's all I'm gonna do. No, you need to go, your caregivers have to have the motivation to go in there and go above and beyond. They need to go above and beyond. If you're not going above and beyond, being extra nice, being extra clean, being doing extra every day, and we all know what extra look like. We know when we lacking, and we know when we doing average, and we know when we doing exceptional. And that exceptional, your caregivers going in with the mindset that we have to be exceptional every time we go to work, every time we clock in. It's like the show starts, like the lights is on, and it's time to put on the show. And I'm not saying being fake and phony, but you have to go in there with a mindset that I want to raise the happiness level. I want them to be happier and better because of the shift that just occurred, because of this person who's coming and take care of your family. Not just safe, they didn't fall, they didn't get hurt, they ate, they had their meds on time and things like that. Of course, okay, that's what they need. That's the minimum. That's the bare minimum. That's always should be the case. But are they happy? Are they excited when you get there? Can't wait for you to get there, talking about you before you get there, having a great, short conversation before you leave. They're excited that you're coming back tomorrow. Are you creating that type of environment? That's very important. You have to create that kind of environment. Your caregivers have to understand that that environment is mandatory. It's mandatory. Because without that type of environment, we don't grow. We don't have more opportunities. The caregivers have to have a level of, they have to understand that it's their responsibility as a caregiver, as an employee, as another person of this part of this organization, that this is your responsibility to help us grow. But also they have to know that they benefit from that growth. So you have to understand that you have to put systems in place to where they not only just going to work every day getting a check, but they're getting opportunities to grow with the company as well. They're getting more opportunities. They're getting further training if necessary, or we creating different environments for them. And because we do what we do, we encourage them, to eventually go out on their own and do different things, or do different things within our organization. We encourage education. We encourage new certifications that are going to make you a stronger, better caregiver. And we promote entrepreneurship. How can I be the person that I am and not promote entrepreneurship, financial freedom to my caregivers? Everybody's not always there ready to start a company, but there's still other opportunities and things that we can do to make sure that, to give them more opportunities and more access to growth, more money, more education, and things like that. When it comes to, let's kind of look at some of these bullet points that we have here as far as recruitment is concerned. The first topic here is recruitment. I have been through quite a few different websites. Um, and it's funny because it's like things change on the internet, whether it's like algorithms, different websites do different things. They change their internal whatever they got going on, and then different sites become they're good, then they're bad, then they're bad, then they're good. So where we find the majority of our caregivers, in the beginning we started on Craigslist, then Indeed. Now we still use Craigslist, we still use Indeed, but now we're getting the majority of our caregivers on Facebook. You got a Facebook business page for your home care service. You could post ads on there for free, and you could boost those ads. And you know, when you got like a serious case, a case that you can't fill, and you need to, you know, get some caregivers in, some applicants pretty quickly, you could boost it and pay money. But the majority of the time, you could just do it for free, post ads, and you'll have a, you know, a decent amount of caregivers coming in. And it's all location specific, you know, different areas depending. If you're in a rural area, I want to say you should expect having a lot of people applying if you're just posting an ad here and there without paying for it. But if you like in a metropolitan area or a highly populous area, then you can expect to get decent amount of inquiries or applicants applying. And it's a numbers game. Like I always say, business is a numbers game, and hiring is a numbers game. Just as important as clients. You're gonna go through every 10, 15 caregivers, you're gonna find one good one. You know, and that's just what it is. You have to, and then you got to build a system that helps you filter that and get to that process quickly. You don't want to have a million people tying you up, or you know, a whole bunch of caregivers who aren't qualified, aren't serious, spending, you know, wasting a whole bunch of time for you or your company or, you know, your staff in the office. You know, you got to figure out ways to like vet them, weed them out, and figure out who the phonies are and who you want to really work with. You want to put a system in place for that. How we do that, prior to COVID, group interviews, instead of one-on-one interviews. So we're not going to just, you know, set time aside for one person. We've in the beginning we tried that, and then we just realized how much time that wastes. Because then, you know, you get a lot of caregivers. They said they schedule these appointments and they don't show. So now you didn't set this time aside. You're sitting there waiting for this person, they don't show. So how do we solve that? Group interviews. And then the group interview first, then the individual interview. After, you know, the group interview, you submit your documentations, we check your references, we do background, and we do everything like that based on your presentation, your resume, your referrals, and those things that will determine if you make it to the individual interview. We can't do that so much now, right? In COVID personally, but now we're using tools like this, Zoom. You can do the same thing, you can get it done. So you want to make sure you're creating systems to get through a lot of, you know, just weed out the BS, because it's a lot of people who just sit on the internet. They don't really need a job. They're not really interested in working. They just like waiting for the perfect opportunity that they can work for a couple of days, work a couple of weeks, get a couple of paychecks, and then they back doing whatever they was doing. That's a lot of people out there who do that in this industry, in this field, caregivers, and they just run through all the agencies in their market. You know, they get bad reputations, and if you don't peep them soon, they can cause problems in your company. You know, if they slip, one of these type of caregivers slip through the cracks, end up at a client's house, they can easily put you in a situation where they don't show up, or they starting to come late, or they lacking at the work, or, you know, on their phone. And, you know, now 2020, you got to have a zero tolerance phone policy. Do not touch your phone when you get to work and it's your time to work, put your phone away. The only time you should pick up your phone is if it's like an emergency and you can't use their phone. Like, there's no other excuse for you to be using your phone. And the majority of people now, families now, they got cameras. So they see you on your phone. And it's like, you can't do that no more. It's just period, point blank. Everybody's concerned about it. Nobody wants to deal with caregivers on their phone. And you'll see, if you haven't already or experienced it in your own business, at work with your, if you were in this industry, you've seen it at any job at this point. Look how much shit we do on our phones nowadays. So everybody's on their phone, everybody's distracted. So you have to get people who are mature enough, settled enough, stable enough, serious enough about their position in their job, that they're not gonna sit on their phone all day. And it's just things like that that the pretenders, can, they'll ease their way in. They'll say all the right things, have great references, great background, have all the certifications, everything. But then when you put them actually on an assignment, that's the first thing you hear. Oh, shucks and shucks. And then the thing about it is, families don't always tell you at first. Families usually wait until they can't take it, and then they just fire all of y'all. They fire the whole agency. When it's, if you would have knew earlier up front about that issue, you could have replaced them. So this is just a side note, a side point, as far as customer satisfaction, and making sure you're doing the proper follow-ups and just letting the families know, especially when you first get started and you put a caregiver in a situation. You want to make sure that you're checking in with the family, saying, hey, look, how's everything going? Is she a good fit? She a good fit? How are they responding? So you want to create a questionnaire and make sure you're talking to the clients, especially in the beginning, about the caregiver's performance. Because they won't tell you, for the most part. They won't tell you. They won't say, hey, look, this they'll just let it go until they get fed up. But if you call them and you talk to them, and the communication is great, they'll let you know. And if not directly, indirectly, you can hear it. You'll know it. So, because when they're really excited, you'll know that as well. So making sure you have that great communication, especially when you first put a new caregiver on an assignment, that the family has a great, experience with them. Another thing to think about when it comes to, recruitment is simple. You have to be in a lot of places. You have to be on Craigslist. You have to be on Indeed. You have to be on Facebook. You have to be Facebook and Indeed. You can post free ads. Post as many free ads as they let you in all the cities and the markets that you're in, marketing, and where you're looking to retain customers and do business. These are the counties, the cities, and the areas that you need to be running ads now. Even if you're not licensed, nothing. Start running ads. Start building your database with caregivers. They call you, they apply, you start the hiring process, you start the process, the vetting process to see if they good for what you're trying to, for your company. But and make sure you're getting out the good ones and logging getting the good ones and getting rid of the bad ones, and keeping a good tight communication with the good ones, because it's just so hard to find. And the thing about now, if families don't move quick, caregivers are going to go to the next opportunity. And I'll talk about that at another time. But how in demand we are as home care providers and caregivers, how in demand they are as caregivers for the seniors in this current environment. And just in general, it's just like we are seeing caregivers having multiple opportunities. So we have to make sure we're providing great opportunities for them, along with what they're being approached with, and they have access to in the market around us. So another great tool after recruitment is training. No matter what certifications or experience they done had, before they get with you, prior to working with you or reaching out to you, or, you know, eventually you hiring them, you still want to give them an opportunity and check what they know. Give them an opportunity to, you know, get trained up and, you know, some new things and stuff like that. But this should always be a core knowledge base, or it should be a core, a minimum requirement that they need to have just for your company, depending on, you know, the things that y'all are doing. No two companies are the same. You might focus on different things. Like I was talking about yesterday, we talked about specialty programs. And when if you put together a specialty programs, for instance, Parkinson's, you got to make sure you got enough caregivers who specialize and understand Parkinson at a level that can allow you to call yourself, you know, proficient or expert in this actual field, in this actual disease or whatever, this program. So when families come to you and they can say, oh, we're going to deal with you because you specialize in Parkinson. We're going to deal with you because we heard you, or we seen your marketing, or we seen your some presentation that said that or stated that you specialize in dementia. So we want to deal with you. Tell us a little bit more about your specialty and why you consider yourself an expert or you specialize in dementia. It shouldn't be hard for somebody at the administration level, at the administrative point, say like on a phone call, to explain that and help them get to a place where they're confident in your ability to do that. It shouldn't be an issue or hard for whoever's going to do the consultation to also provide that level of confidence that you understand that particular program, that specialty during that consultation. But when it's time to actually go service this person, are your caregivers trained and prepared for everything that this specialty, this Parkinson's disease comes with? Has she been properly trained? Has she had the proper experience before you go out there and start talking about these specialty programs? And these things are available online through different services. Like we've dealt with the Institute of Professional Care Education. We're looking at possibly working with Home Care Pulse, who has recently partnered with a training company, a caregiver training service where they do online training for caregivers and things like that as well. And that's through Home Care Pulse, the company who puts out the benchmark studies for all of home care in America once a year. And I was talking about yesterday that that's something that y'all should look into. So check out Home Care Pulse's benchmark study, just to, like I said yesterday, raise your industry IQ and get a better understanding of what's going on in home care currently, to get the most current information on what's going on in the market or in the industry. But training helps you that way. When you create specialty programs, it puts your company in a position to stand out in the market. When you create specialty programs, you can stand out in the market. You can go out into the public and say, hey, look, this is what we specialize in. This is what we do. We do everything else, but this is what we specialize in. This is something that we're really excited about. We're really helping people out because we specialize this. Our staff is trained up, our caregivers are trained up, and this is a program that we feel really confident in. And if this is something that your family is suffering with or struggling with, we're here to help. Training, very important. On top of that, we also have, are you saying home care pauses? Pulse, like the pulse. I'm sorry, like the pulse. Pulse, like the pulse of home care. Just Google them. They're all over the place. And if you want to deal with them, if you get their their benchmark study that tells you everything that's going on in the home care market in the last year or so. So they probably on, so like 20, so we're in the end of 2020, so their 2021 should be coming out, or might be available, but the 2019 is definitely out. So using them for the actual training is what I was referring to, Home Care Pulse. But then training can also be very beneficial for the caregivers themselves. You feel education is empowering. Competency builds confidence. So when you're giving your caregiver these trainings, the ability to get these trainings, these different skill sets on top of what they already know, they feel like you're for free. It's you're not paying for it. You're giving this on top of, this is a benefit of working with our agency. You're going to get a free education on how to become a more of an asset in the industry. You're going to learn different tools and strategies, and some of these programs like the Institute of Professional Care Education, I won't even begin to even think about telling you everything. It's thousands of hours of training on these platforms, from everything: health, safety, diet, dementia, Parkinson's, like specialty programs, like diabetes, different. It's so much different things, like today, like what we're dealing with these days with disease control and disease management, like all of these different things, prevention and PPE and, being safe. It's just so much there. And I feel like it's a really good thing to provide your caregivers with the opportunity to do it. And even, I don't know, different agencies have different thoughts about this, but making it almost mandatory to do at least, some training each week, each pay period. We want to see an hour or two of completed training, because that's good. No matter what, if they're on that system, if they're on these trainings, getting this information, it's gonna reflect in their work. It's gonna reflect on their work. And if you're trained and you have better, you have more training than you started with, that means you're going to be a bit more of an asset in the future. And that's what we want to do. Taking it to the point where we even provide, because we do assisted living, we provide caregivers who are interested in working in the assisted living environments with us, with the opportunity to take the assisted living managers program, that once they've completed it, that's instant pay grade. Pay upgrade on your pay, like an instant pay raise. Your pay grade instantly goes up. As soon as you get that, that certification. In Maryland, it's an 80-hour training, and we'll give that to our caregivers. We provide these opportunities to our caregivers so they can, obviously, if we're giving you all, we want you to work for us for a certain time. We want to contract you. We're going to spend, because these trainings aren't free. So with the online trainings, we're paying about $10 a month per caregiver. So if we got 10 caregivers on there, we're paying $100 a month. We got 2,200, stuff like that. But when you look at like more advanced training, like the assisted living manager's position, we're training our caregivers to be the ones who we feel are the ones that we feel that we would want to work with in that capacity. We give them those opportunities. We present them with those opportunities. So these are some of the things when you think about hiring, recruiting them, finding them, but then also keeping them. Like, how do you keep them? That's what everybody's struggling with. How do you keep caregivers? Because there's a roof, there's a ceiling on the money. It's only so much you can pay. So it's like, okay, if I can only pay you so much, how else can I show you that we appreciate you? How what's the different ways that I can, provide you with opportunity for advancement? Because I'm clear and I understand that if I don't have that opportunity and people look at a position at my home care service or my assisted living as a dead end job, it's going to reflect in their work. So that's what we're talking about. Getting them, keeping them, empowering them, and letting them, have room for growth, and just being creative and finding those things for them. We also pay for referrals. If you bring a family to us or you got a client, they're like, why would I bring a client to you? A lot of caregivers say that. Why would I bring a client to you when I can just work them myself? Because if you work them and then they die, you ain't got no job. You know what I'm saying? If you bring them to me, I'm going to give you a referral payment and then you can work them. And then when they pass, you can go to another client that we may have another assignment for you. But if you just say, and it's fine, if that's your choice, then go ahead. If you want to, go keep a client, but I'm just saying, we'll pay you we pay our caregivers for referrals, just like we would any other referral source. So who we have that type of arrangement with. So just looking at recruitment, training, I talked a little bit about family parent. And then one thing I didn't discuss is mentorship. So I learned this from Home Care Pulse, reading Home Care Pulse. I learned this strategy from Home Care Pulse. I'm not ashamed to say it. I don't know everything. I don't come up with everything. I don't make this stuff up. I learned from reading, seeing what other experts are doing, see what other agencies are doing around the country, what's working for people. That's how I became aware of the home care caregiver mentorship program within your agency. So what does that look like? That's giving your senior caregivers, the ones who've been with you longer, who have the experience, the opportunity to help guide, support, and mentor the new ones as they come along. If they're coming into a family's home that they might be covering for, or they might be working together. So this is a great opportunity for the mentor and the mentee, because the mentee gonna learn through the mentor the company culture, how we do things. That means somebody from the office, or we don't need to worry about no in-service training and all that, because they can actually go train with their mentor. They check in with their mentor once a week when they have problems, small stuff, not major issues that you need incident reports, just issues or questions that they might run across in the family. You don't necessarily want all the caregivers, every little issue, every small little thing, calling the office or calling you if you don't have a staff yet, getting on your nerves about every little thing because they don't understand or they just new. So you give an opportunity to the caregiver mentor to be the one that she reaches out to. They guide them and help them understand how we do things and where we're at when it comes to what our expectations are and things like that. And yeah, you can pay the mentor a little extra for that, because she's doing something of value and she's more of an asset to your company. And again, this is another opportunity within your organization to provide caregivers with different opportunities. Some women, some people just love to help others grow, develop, and do better. Just like me. Like this is who. So when I heard about it, it made perfect sense to me, because I understand the value of mentorship. I'm in a mentorship program. I have mentors and I have people that I mentor. And when I heard about it, it just made so much sense. So thinking about putting together a mentor program within your agency, maybe not in the beginning, but just thinking about it and the way you hire and build that team around, everyone helping each other and everyone being each other there for each other as support and things like that, make a big difference. So when you're thinking about running your agency and managing your staff, like what are some of the things that you're going to do to keep them there, especially your good ones? The hardest thing, my biggest fear is losing a great caregiver, you know, because they're just so hard to find. And once you find them, what you want to do, you want to keep them. And their assignment might end, and you got to be ready to make sure, like, okay, you know, you paying attention, like their assignment end, you know, the family pass, you know, the love that the patient may pass, or the family might move, or they might, you know, whatever, choose another agency or whatever. But you don't want to lose that caregiver who's on that assignment. So you have to come up with creative ways to maintain retention, retain them. So mentorship, accountability. You see accountability right here. Accountability is very important, and you're going to learn. And this is one thing that I'm not going to get too deep. I mean, accountability is what it is. People have to be accountable and responsible for their actions and their responsibilities. So what we like to do is do an accountability contract with our caregivers when they sign up. What you'll do, where you'll learn more about accountability is in the 1 Minute Manager, the book that I referred to yesterday, and I definitely wanted to refer to it again. That and the E-Myth when talking about caregivers hiring and being a great manager. So that's that. Let me look on some of these comments real quick. I see a couple of people said a few things, not much. Somebody said, Amanda said, I emailed you today, but I didn't get a response. Okay, Amanda, I'll check my email and I'll respond to you this evening, definitely. One way or another, you'll get a response before the morning. If you send it to my email, I'll see it and I'll respond. And she just mentioned, was I saying home care pulse? So that's it. How do you guys feel so far about this information? Are you guys with me? Let me know, comment below. And we still have the, okay, we got some hearts and stuff, some thumbs up. We still running the program. So if anybody, you know, if you know anybody or anybody interested in the bundle, we still have that available as well. So before we get back to it, I'm gonna jump off here. I need to take a restroom break. So give me 1 second and I'll be right back. Okay, great. So we got a couple questions here. Somebody has said, do we accept PayPal? No, I don't like PayPal. Not sure if you mentioned in another video, but how do you do payroll? Payroll, good question. So now, since COVID, we just do all direct deposits at this point. You know, we send people their money straight to their account. Again, we just don't want to do, we just trying to minimize human contact as much as possible when it comes to that. So what's
great. So we got a couple questions here.
I gotta turn my thing down. Listening to myself. One question that I did when she said that question, when I seen that question, it made me think of a question I used to get a lot back in the day was, how do you do payroll when you sign up your first client, and do you got to pay out of pocket? Like, how do you do payroll? When you first getting started, you got to have the money and things like that. So to deal with that issue, what we did in the beginning was make the families put down a deposit, and that's how we paid our caregivers. So if you wanted to, we would always try to get at least a 2-week deposit. If they're gonna have like a weekly schedule, we'll say, hey, can we get the first 2 weeks deposit, and then we'll start from there. And then if we have any issues, we'll just reimburse you, stuff like that. And it's all about negotiation, and it's how you play your hand. And if you could pull it off, you should be able to. I mean, it's not like a big it's not like something they never heard before in the industry. So we don't do it as much. We don't fight for it as much because we don't have to. But in the beginning, we didn't want ours. So while we took the whole reason why deposits made sense to us, because in the beginning we had no money, and we didn't want to be like, okay, you can go to work, and then if the family don't pay you, you don't work 2 weeks. I don't want to have to pay you. We gonna want to make the family make sure the family does what they're supposed to be doing. So that point, as far as payroll is something that may be helpful for you. But if you have a specific question about payroll, like who we use and things like that, Bill.com so you could get QuickBooks, and you could go through a lot of different companies. Like Bill.com is one, especially if you got independent contractors, because we got salary independent contractors and hourly, W9, W2 and W9, and salaried employees. So we deal with them all. So Bill.com is one that allows you to do that. And it's all kind of stuff out there. Like nowadays, it's a lot of stuff out there, and it's just finding out what works best for what works best for you. Gusto, I've seen a lot of caregivers, a lot of companies work with them. I hear a lot of good stuff about them. Paychex, we started with Paychex. They were great in the beginning, but we needed more flexibility, so we had to do different things and work with other agents, other providers, other payroll service providers. But I really want everyone who's listening to me and kind of trying to gain some information or knowledge from me, first and foremost, get QuickBooks. And then through QuickBooks, you'll find different payroll services that fit your needs. But QuickBooks is the way to go, just for managing your business finances in general. And I'm just like really excited about QuickBooks when it comes to like business financing, accounting, payroll. Keeping a clean budget. Great, it's perfect. It's just definitely what you want to make sure you have. Definitely prepares you for tax time, what we're coming up on, which is, for people like me, people who got to send them government fat checks. We hate these, we hate tax season, but it's the cost of doing business, and we don't mind it. But Yeah, as far as payroll is concerned, I don't know what like questions you're saying. How do I do your payroll? So direct deposit, and we use QuickBooks as our bill.com and things like that to do our actual payrolls. Do you accept PayPal? Please explain state-specific policy / licensure. Every state is different when you're thinking about license and things like that. And I don't want to deviate too far from caregivers because I got a couple more things. Well, we pretty much covered everything. Actually, we talked about retention, in-house opportunities, and then the 2 books that I want you to read is the E-Myth and the 1-Minute Manager. So yeah, we good. Okay, Brittany, great. So what question, what is there a specific question that you have when it comes to state specific policy, licensure? And what I can say is that each state is different. Some states have no license requirement, believe it or not. Quite a few states. And some states are so hard they make you don't even want to even think about it doing it. And it's all done purposely like that way. Usually in states where they make it extremely hard because it's extremely lucrative. And the powers that be, cronyism and all that stuff, they just want their homies to get the money. So they make it, I just feel like they make it too hard. They make it extremely hard to get in the game for average people. So that's why we do what we do. We do it for you. We know the game. You can't trick us. We know we got all the policies for every state. We can get you licensed in any state in the country and in Canada. We got some work we could do in Canada. So Florida, that's easy. That's light work. So Florida's easy. Their homemaker, they got 2 things. They got the homemaker companion, and then they got the home healthcare license, like the home healthcare license. And the companion one is really easy to get. The home health is a little bit more difficult. You just have to, you just got to know what you're doing, or you reach out to somebody who know what they're doing, and they should be able to help you. But if you think about it like this, look at it like this. So one of my students went to Harvard, and I like saying that, right? I got a GED. This brother went to Harvard. He reached out to me and said, he wanted to start a company. And his testimony on my website, on my YouTube page too, his name is Gary. And he went to, and it's a funny story because he went to the Naval Academy in Annapolis, where I'm from, but we never met. And he was here while I was living here. So that was weird. He was like, yo, I went to the Naval Academy. I was there for 4 years. And in those 4 years, I was living there, and I'm always was downtown. So it's like we could have probably almost met each other, like on some sitting at a restaurant or in a bar or something, like, because we like this. The downtown is so small. But anyways, he moves to California, and I'm using California because California is extremely hard to get. He moves to California. We start the licensing process. He downloads all the state requirements and things like that. It's insane. This brother tell me, just when he let me know, he's like, yeah, I had did some courses in Harvard. Obviously, Annapolis, I don't know if you guys know, Annapolis Naval Academy is like West Point. Like West Point is West Point, like MIT. So we talking about the highest echelon of education in the United States when we talking about these institutions. So he's been trained in that. He has master's degrees. He's been to Harvard. He's been through Harvard Business School, things like that. So when he's telling me, this is my roundabout way to get back to this point. When he's telling me that this shit is extremely difficult, I've done all kind of research. I've done all kind of reports. I've done all kind of studies. He said, but California is making it extremely difficult for us to take care of senior citizens. Like regular people, when you download that shit, and we figured it out, we had to go through it and all that, but we figured it out. And he helped me, understand a lot of the stuff because he had that, that academic background far beyond me, where he can, help me understand, and he can articulate some of the things that I just didn't understand. And I'm saying all that to say to Brittany, no matter how difficult it is, and if you're going to do it on your own and you don't want to, pay nobody, you just want to do it yourself, take it serious. If you download it, the application, and a lot of times you don't want to pay nobody, and you want to do shit on your own, and you want to figure it out so you'll know the information, so you'll know what you're doing. And that's good. I get that and I respect that. Take it serious, just like if you was going to college, or you was trying to learn a new thing, or you was trying to learn a new language. Dissect that thing. Pull it off the internet, the application, whatever. All the little, the policies and things that they want you to know. Download that stuff and just take the time out and learn it. Learn it, understand it. Ask questions. It's usually somebody in the office, somebody at the license department. The Department of Health usually handles the license in each state that you can contact. They'll communicate back with you. They'll send you, hey, that's like Maryland. We're always getting policies sent back. Hey, we need to update this. It's a new this, or you didn't do this right. So we always having this exchange with the as we doing licenses, and then too, because the licenses, and the policies are always changing. Just so imagine with COVID, look how much shit we got to add now. How much this is all new. We didn't have to deal with this before, so now we got to deal with all this stuff. We have to have these policies in our business now. And policies, again, like I was saying yesterday, I keep referring to yesterday, and I want you guys to go back. If y'all looking at this video now, I've been trying to go live every day, not on no BS, but really trying to teach and giving y'all some great information, some valuable information in exchange for you guys talking, sharing the page, the feed, the program that we offering, the senior care business bundle, the senior care business bundle, the ultimate senior care business bundle, where we're teaching and giving you all the documentation and the training that you need to start a home care service and an assisted living. That's why I call it the senior care business bundle, because we're not just talking about home care, or we're not just talking about assisted living, or we're not talking about independent living. We're talking about everything to prepare you to go out here and start a senior care business, not just a home care business or assisted living. I want you to have a senior care business where you can take care of families in their homes, and you can bring them to yours and take care of them that way. That's the most lucrative way that makes sense to me. Having a assisted living and an agency makes the most sense. I like having a assisted living because it's like a stable income, like rent. It is rent, but like a rental income, it's rental income. So people just don't, they here today and gone tomorrow, they're actually on a contract and they're going to be paying you every month. Whereas in the home care, so I'm gonna give you the drawback on both. They're giving you that payment every month, and it could be, usually no less than $3,000 a month. And if you got 5-6, beds, that's good money, at the end of the day. But there's a drawback. What's the drawback for having an assisted living? A 6, 8, 10 bed assisted living making $3,000-4,000 a month. The drawback is it's limited to the space that you have. If you got 5 beds, you got 10 beds. You're not going to be able to put an 11th bed in there overnight. You got to do some rebuilding, or you got to go find a new property. So that's the limitation. It's not easy to just add a bedroom, add another space to this property. And nobody's looking for easy. I'm just saying it's more time consuming and more investment heavy to continue to buy properties, find properties, get them licensed, and start bringing residents in. You want to always be doing it. That's the job. That's the industry. That's the business we in. But if that's all I'm doing, once I'm maxed out at 10 clients in that 10 residents at that facility, at that home, in that community, we call them communities. In that community, if I'm maxed out, every bed is full. Now what? My income is maxed if that's all I'm doing. But guess what? If I got a home care service, I'm already out here in the market. I'm already in the community. I already know all the referral sources. I'm already talking to all these different families. Everybody know we take care of seniors. This is what we do. So I'm gonna get clients, home care clients. Keep getting those. There's no limit. So that's the beauty of home care. There's no limit to how many clients you could get. The beauty of assisted living is that income is stable and is contractual, that you're going to at least get that money for the next 6-12 months based on your contract. The drawback of assisted living is what? It's a limitation to how many people you can have. You can't scale unless you build or get another facility. What's the drawback of home care? It's hard as shit to find home care clients. You got to market. You got to be out here building relationships. You got to be out here working to get clients. Another drawback is clients don't have to stay with you for a particular time. If they don't like your service or they're not excited about what you're doing, obviously we don't want that to be the case. Open this door for me, please. Open this door for me, please. We don't want that to be the case, but we still have we still have to continue to get more home care clients, but there's no limit to how many clients we can get, just like there's a limit in home care or assisted living. So do both. If you start out with the home care, build up, get you an assisted living. You start out with assisted living, you already got a property, get it licensed, get back to the home care. Get it filled up, get your staff in there, get a license, get your beds full. Now that your bed's full, you got your systems in place, everything is good, get back to the home care. And that's it. That's how you build an enterprise. That home care money that you're making, on top of that assisted living money, you take it, you go buy you another assisted living. You start to partner with different people who want to do the assisted living. You start to partner with landlords and investors who don't particularly know the assisted living strategy or niche, and you bring them in and you offer them opportunities. If they're just landlords, they've just been making, market rent. If you take a 3-4 bedroom home in a decent suburban neighborhood and put a family in there to rent it out from you, and if you ain't pay cash and you still got a mortgage on it, you ain't making too much money. I don't care how great the neighborhood is, people ain't gonna pay but so much rent, and there's only so much margin between the rent and the mortgage and your overhead. And it's usually that's like a few $100s. When you look at landlords and real estate investors, so I come from real estate background. Prior to home care, I was doing real estate. So I've seen it, talked to them, done it myself, flipped houses, rented houses, rehabs, all that stuff. So we were there. And I understand that it's a very limiting strategy when you're talking about single families. Now, I'm not talking about multi-units, apartment complexes, duplexes and multi-families, properties like that. I'm not talking about that. That's a different opportunity, and that's a smarter opportunity, and it makes more sense when you're thinking about, actually scaling, growing wealth and things like that. So if I got a family, if I got a 4 or 5 bedroom home that I want to rent out, and I rent it out to a family, most of the time the family got kids. What do kids like to do? They like to write on walls, kick holes in walls. They like to run around, slam doors. And I mean, it's not nothing that they're doing wrong. That's just what happens. And there's no family, no matter how squared away or or proper you think the family is, or whatever you done did to vet them when you put them in there, they gonna mess the property up. It's just how it go. If it's carpet in there, they're gonna ruin it. You're gonna have to change the carpet, you're gonna have to paint and all that stuff. And if while they're there, if they, plumbing and electrical, it's always something when you're dealing with that type of tenant. The flip side, what do seniors do? Do seniors kick holes in walls? Have you ever seen a senior throw a rock through a window? If you did, he probably needed a caregiver. So that's just, they don't do that. They don't ruin your property. They're what we call in the industry low impact tenants. You got high impact tenants. Your highest impact tenant is like a Section 8 person. We expecting them to just act a damn fool. That's just what we expect. Low impact, the lowest impact tenant. And I hope I ain't offending nobody if you in that Section 8 situation, or you got Section 8 tenants and stuff like that, and you don't kick holes in walls, or your tenants don't kick holes in walls. I apologize to you. But we've had our experiences with Section 8 tenants and clients, so I can feel comfortable saying that they very high impact, because they have no investment in the property, in the neighborhood, in the community. So they don't mind, when they throw trash down, they don't feel no kind of way because it ain't their shit. Or they kick the door down, or paint or kick or bust holes and all that. They don't care because it ain't theirs. And it's not even theirs twice because they're not even paying for it. You know what I mean? So I grew up like that. So I'm not judging it. And I kick holes in walls. I was dead ass wrong. But I did it, so I know what I'm talking about. I'm not judging nobody. I'm just telling you what the reality is. We're talking about real estate tenants, low impact, high impact. High impact tenants who will mess your property up versus low impact tenants who will not do anything wrong to your property and provide and give you the highest bang for your buck. Once I learned this strategy, assisted living, no other real estate strategy made sense to me. It takes the dudes that can eat with the dudes that make the same money that we make in assisted living in real estate. They have to have multi-unit properties. To what I could do with a single family home, it's going to take you're going to probably need a 10-unit apartment building to make the same money at the end of the day, because you getting $300-400 off each apartment to get to $3-4 grand at the end of the month profit. But we getting that with 3-4 seniors providing great service and knowing what we're doing as far as staffing and things like that. So, and where we buy, where we put the patients at, where we buy the properties at, what markets we target and things like that. Real estate is always going to be real estate, and the foundation of assisted living is real estate. So you will always have to understand real estate is based on one thing: location, location, location. Three things, but it's location. You have to know that. So don't expect, you can't, assisted living works in all communities. So it's communities in Ohio that we see where the cost of living isn't as much, but families can still afford $2,000, $3,000 a month. But the house was so cheap that we still making the same money that we making in the upper middle class community with the clients, with the residents, because we're making the same profit margins. It's about the margin, not the number itself, but the spread. If you're getting 3,500, if your overhead is 10,000 a month and you're making 17,000 a month, you win it, and that's the play, and that's it. So, like I said, this was going to be a short stream. I said I wasn't going to go all night on it. Hopefully you guys benefited to some degree from this information. I just wanted to let you guys know that we still have the senior care business bundle out here and available for you guys to take advantage of. Go back a couple videos ago. You'll see a deep, detailed description of each product that's in the business bundle if you want to fence about it or you got some questions about it. Also, feel free to text and email us here, and we'll respond promptly to your questions and stuff like that. Brittany Jones, thank you for supporting. Go ahead, share the stream. And since you're thanking me, go ahead and tag 10 friends for me. Tag 10 friends. Who gonna tag 10 friends for me? Whoever tag 10 friends for me, I'm gonna do something special. Something special. Tag 10 friends. Who gonna do something? Who wants something special? Huh? Or y'all just trying to keep it to yourself so you can shine on your friends? Tag 10 friends. Share the feed. Okay. That's it. That's what's up. But that's it. I appreciate y'all checking in with me today, spending this little time with me. I just wanted to do it at a different time because I've been going live in the morning. I know people got different schedules, so I'm just trying to make sure everybody get the opportunity to tap in live. I know we run them back pre-recorded, and then it's like you watching it, but you don't get to participate, and you can't ask the live questions, and you can't, get the feedback that you necessarily want right in the spot. But yes, what's her name? Kiera Lynch. Brittany just brought you here. Yeah, this home health care and assisted living. And Brittany wants you to win. That's a real friend. So we getting off of here, but like 2 or 3 minutes after we done, you'll be able to still come back to the page and get the information. So today we covered caregivers, the frontline of senior care. I don't know your background, but we talked about caregivers and what it takes to hire good caregivers, keep good caregivers, and how to keep them inspired, keep them empowered, and how to use them to grow your company. Because they are, your caregivers determine your success. And there's no getting around that. So and also we have a business bundle. Brittany could probably put you on a little bit more about it once we get off, but we got a business bundle. If you look at the description on this live, and you'll see all the things that we offering. We're not offering it much longer because I feel like we didn't give enough people the opportunity to justify, the deep discounted prices. So we teaching you with the business in a box is going to be in there, but that's the home care. That's the #1 selling home care coaching product in America. The business in a box 2.0 is no other product in the country that has sold more and helped more people start home care services. And we're very proud of that. We got the home care customizable policies and procedure in there. The assisted living startup kit, another product that's untouchable in the marketplace. There's no other copycat company out there that can give y'all what we're gonna give y'all in that assisted living startup kit for the price. The price alone is worth is the price of the bundle in assisted living managers. The assisted living startup kit alone is well worth it. It's gonna make it well worth it because you're gonna get an assisted living business plan, which is gonna walk you through every step of getting started, and not only just walk you through it and give you a plan and a vision and a roadmap to get it done. You also could use this to present to partners, banks, investors and things like that when you want to go and work with other people or bring other people into the business or partner and grow your equity and your opportunities like that. We got the assisted living customizable policies and procedures. We got the home care customizable policies and procedures. We got the assisted living business plan. We got the home care business plan, customizable. You could take this, you could download it, put your company information on it, use this to start your home care service. Use this to guide you and help you navigate and give you some great ideas on how to get it done and be successful in your market. This is what we're offering you in the senior care business bundle. And as an extra bonus, I'm throwing in my mentor. This is as a favor to him, just for me putting it out there and how much he even helped me along the way, giving away his book for free. So I got to buy his book from him so I can give it to you guys. It's called the Productivity Planner. And I talked about that again yesterday, about the importance of creating great habits that will lead to actual success. A lot of times we think we need to have these special talents and gifts to be successful. That's not the case. Success is dictated on a daily basis and created on a daily basis depending on your habits. If you got poor people habits, you're going to be a poor person. You got wealthy habits, you're going to be wealthy. Sometimes we don't know what those habits look like. Sometimes we don't know what to do. That's why you got the business bundle and you're going to get the free book. It's going to help you navigate high performance. So how is it going to help? My mentor, Brendan Bashar, is the #1 high performance coach in America. He's been on Oprah. He's the real deal. His program is 30 G's. So that's why I ain't worried about y'all, me telling y'all who he is, because if y'all can get in there with him, we all need to be talking. So Brendan Bashar, his book, teaching your coach's coach, the people you look up to, like E.T., Gary V, where you think they going to Brendan Bashar? We like to go to the source. We like to go to the connect. I found the connect. The connect is Brendan Bashar, and I'm putting y'all on with the connect. If y'all want to know how to really take some regular stuff, skills, talents, missions, assignments, passions that you feel that you have, tap in with this book. Use this productivity planner. He asks the right questions. You know, he helps you manage your day. He helps you prioritize the things that you need to focus on and putting your agenda first and foremost. That's a big thing he discusses. Agenda. Whose agenda are you on? Right now, you're on my agenda because you sitting here listening to me. You're on my agenda. You got to wake up every morning and making sure you're on your agenda and you're doing the things that's important for you. You're making sure your mission, your goals, your vision is being pushed forward. Every day, you got to make sure you're moving the needle in a way that's effective. So, so that's it. I don't want to hold you up too much longer. She said, I don't have Cashapp. Well, you don't want it then. It's 2020. If you don't get Cashapp, you don't want it. This is just some simple stuff. Why I say Cashapp? Because it's instant. I can send it to you as soon as you get it. I just need your email and your home address so we can get your book out to you and we can get the bundle to you immediately. And it's over with after that. So I really want to make sure I made this bundle on Cashapp and not through my store or not through PayPal because it's instant. You pay, you get your product instantly, no questions asked, no middleman. It's instant. You have people on the call right here today. If you don't think that it's what I'm saying is all it could be, reach back into the comments and ask them. Some of these sisters right here is on this call today already got it. And I'll put it up in front of anything that you could bring to it. And if you can find something better, I'll give you your money back. So I'm gonna jump off of here. It's getting late. I'm getting a little tired, so y'all can probably hear a little different type of energy, but I'm gonna go ahead and jump off here. I appreciate you guys for checking, coming, supporting as usual. I'm gonna try to keep these lives going as often as possible, and do different times and different days and stuff like that, so we can make sure different people with different schedules can also participate in the live part. Obviously, we can all watch it when it's pre-recorded, but giving it to you live, I know you guys really like that. I get a lot of, and a lot of this stuff, like the topics are coming from you guys sending me emails. Hey, like, look, talk about this. I want to talk about that. So that's also something you could do if you have ideas or questions and thoughts that you want me to go deep into. Feel free to hit me up and let me know what you're thinking. And I could put a seminar together for you. I'll put a presentation for you together right here, free, charge nothing. Just come check me. You want to talk about it? Let's get to it. I'm here. I enjoy talking about it. I enjoy helping you guys. All I ask for is to share the feed, tag some friends and support the channel. That's it. So I'm gonna get out of here. Hope you guys had a good evening up until this point. Hopefully this was enlightening for you and helpful. And I look forward to working with you guys and hearing from you guys in the future. And if you have any questions, feel free to shoot an email, direct message, and give us a call. Our phone number is on the profile picture. That's the home care hotline. You can hit that at any time. Like I always say, leave a voicemail, leave a message. We don't return missed calls. So if you just call in and don't hang up, don't expect for me to call you back, send you a text message, nothing. Leave a voicemail. If you don't want to leave voicemail, shoot a text. When you call, after you call, let us know. That helps me better serve you and get the information that you need and you requested. So again, I appreciate you guys. I'm trying to find the hang up button so I can go ahead and get off of here and let you guys get y'all's evening, get you settled for y'all the evening and have a good evening. So that's it. And I'll catch you guys another time. Peace.